Hello. We are live. This is Current Exposure. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Get into the room, people. Get into the room. This evening, I have a special guest who is coming on. Before I say her name, let me talk about how I met her and in what capacity that I know her. She is a very dedicated woman to the community. She has opened up her space for people to come in and just enjoy life and peace. She built a community garden, several. She partook in several community garden installations throughout the city of Newark. She has her own foundation. I got to visit her the location of her foundation, and she had clothes in there of different types that she gives out to the community. She helps people in need. So I thought that was like cool to see, to actually see somebody doing what they say they do or write about what they do. But I want you all to get to know her. And she's also running for at large. She's I'm gonna bring her on. This is hold on. We got Christina Cherry. Miss Cherry, can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear? Yes, I can hear you, but can you hear?
I'm gonna
Can
log
you hear
out
me?
and log back in.
You can't hear me? Okay, she can't hear me. Oh, you know what it is? She may have to adjust her headphones. Hello, George. How are you? I am so happy that you're joining us this evening. Have you been following the 2026 Newark municipal election? It's been very, very exciting. Okay, Miss Cherry.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I do apologize about those technical
Okay.
difficulties.
Okay. You're looking fabulous.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We got a fashion show in this for about an hour or two, but
Oh, really? Okay, okay. So
Mhm.
this is
So
the pre.
the pre, I got ready for you guys today. We're here just to talk politics, the
Oh,
candidacy, what we got
oh,
going on in the community. So, I took the dress off of this.
okay. We like the dress though. We like the dress.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I need the folks to focus on the work, not the dress, though.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I
hmm
got you. Oh,
hmm
so, you know what I did not mention when I was introducing you is
hmm
your military background.
Yes, I am a U.S. Navy veteran. I served at ACB 2 out of Little Creek, Virginia Beach. So my
Mm,
time there wasn't that long. I unfortunately had issues with don't ask, don't tell,
mm-hmm.
so that was a bit short lived for me. For folks who don't know what don't ask, don't tell is, during my time in the service, they couldn't ask if you were gay, you couldn't tell if you were gay. But if you told, then, or someone told, you could be prosecuted and taken out the service. So that was what happened to me.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So how many years did you do?
Um, Short of 3 years, I did
Okay.
in the service. And then after the service, I came out and dealt with my own issues of homelessness because, the
Mm-hmm.
readjustment, and then started working with the VA hospital, Department of Veteran Affairs. And so I did 8 years with the VA hospital. After
Okay.
that, so
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
V hospital.
Yeah,
Wow.
wow.
So what did you do there, and why is it so important for us to have institutions like that? Like, people hear veteran affairs, or
Hmm.
even like veterans having issues, and
Wow.
special support for veterans, particularly those who are homeless and experiencing mental health
Mm-hmm.
challenges. Could you explain to us why it's important to have these organizations, or like, what significant value do they hold in our communities?
Wow. So the VA, I mean, the ideology of it is great, right? I mean, it's for veterans and veterans only.
Mhm.
As a veteran myself who has worked there, I see firsthand where they miss, what needs to happen. I'm happy that they can get medical service there, but I do think that there's places and things that are failing. My
Mhm.
first 4 years, I did patient care, so I was a medical support assistant. I
Mhm.
got clearances for patients. So anyone who was going into surgery, they came through me. So cardiovascular, all
Oh,
13 surgeries, they would come through me. I would get them, their
wow.
nursing, medical, all their clearances. But it just felt really quantified, not
Mhm.
qualitative. And I
Mhm.
used to always get in trouble because I was advocating
Wow.
for the veterans. Like, how is it possible that a vet is having surgery and they've never met their
Mhm.
cardiovascular, you know what I mean, surgeon? So I would advocate for them. Like, listen, you guys got to come down here and see this patient because he's a nervous wreck about having open surgery, but they've not met the attending. So it's
Right.
great, but it's missing. It could be better. And when he was talking about our service members, they deserve the
Mhm.
best. We don't deserve students. We don't deserve students coming to learn on us. When us,
Wow.
yeah. So we're a
They
teaching
have
hospital.
student doctors?
Yeah, so the Department of Veteran Affairs is a teaching hospital. They are a
Oh,
training hospital for our up and coming doctors, and it's a double edged sword. But I think that we should be hiring and paying for the best to take care of our veterans coming back. And
wow.
so, yeah. So then so that kind of turned me off because I really went to school. I really wanted to go to school to become a doctor. That was my thing, right? When I got to the VA, I
Mhm.
was disgusted, so disgusted with how, like I said, quantitative it was. So then I went to school for business. And so right back to what I did in the service, which I thought I would hate forever. It was logistics and inventory
Mhm.
management. And so I applied for that job 4 times, came back with 3 degrees. Every time they told me no, I just came back with another degree. Like, okay, what now? And so finally got hired as an inventory management specialist. And I worked for Manhattan and Brooklyn VA, um, dealing with their budget, dealing with their inventory.
Mhm.
Eventually dealing with contracts. When Hurricane Sandy hit us, Manhattan VA, we were underwater. The whole hospital was condemned. I was in charge of all of the 2237s, which are the contracts for the VA hospital.
Right.
So I ended up working for the VA and still helping veterans, but on a different level, not like at the forefront. But I definitely am open to talking about what's needed when it comes to the VA and where they fell short. So. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Um, George, hold on. George sent 3
Oh,
messages.
okay. Hey, George.
George said, someone has a chirping fire detector in New Battery.
Yes,
All
sorry
right.
about that.
George is very serious about, yeah, he
It's a
look,
vacant
battery
unit.
is
Yeah, I know.
chirping,
I
new
know.
one
It's
is needed. It's the one.
You're about to go have me take it down. When I
Yes,
see
George
which one is it? Which
cares
one is
and
it?
is very like into
Preventive.
preventive
No one is here, George.
preventive measures,
I
you know.
apologize. I was supposed to go to the nonprofit. Time got away from me. So here we are making things work. And I wanted to be sure to be on time here. So I do
Okay.
apologize, George, about the chirping.
But oh, it's nice you have a sense of humor too.
Thank you. I
Right?
mean, yes, everyone.
Valid. Okay.
Say again.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm a human being. I'm a person. I don't know, what this misconstrued notion is about me. I can't help but I look like my parents. That was something that I was born with. But I am somebody who is really about the work, and yes, I can joke. and so, so
All
yeah.
right.
What was the?
So tell us, okay, people want to know, why are you here in Newark? What is it that you like about this city? I've heard something to the effect that you have done more in the city of Newark than people who actually live here.
Yes.
And I
That.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Um, you coming in and taking care of the city,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
so let's talk about
What brought me here?
your origins.
Yes. All right.
What are you doing in Newark? Why
Okay.
you know?
So yeah, we can talk about my origins. I mean, we already kind of touched the base that I joined the service at 18. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and just say that
Mm-hmm.
at the age of 16, I was an emancipated minor.
Okay.
So I've been on my own for a very long time, and
Okay.
so a bit of a
Awesome.
a bit of a nomad. My first, and so at 18, I went to Virginia. You know, Virginia Beach was where I was stationed at. Came back to New York. I worked there. I took a federal contracting job in Florida, and after I had my son, you know, dealing with my own, my own issues and trying to obtain my military benefits,
Mm-hmm.
I became homeless.
Okay.
I applied for my benefits, you know, early on in the year. And if you're a veteran, you know how long this process takes. A lot of veterans end up homeless, you know, advocating for themselves and for their own mental health and, you know, their own issues. And so that happened to me. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I was going to be homeless. I tried to prevent it, but it just couldn't happen. I
Wow.
just had Caden, and so I did what I knew how to. You know, I packed everything up and came back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did come back to New York initially, and we got placed in the shelter system. And while waiting to get placed into a shelter, Caden caught RSV, and so we ended up in the
Wow.
hospital. We lost our placement there, and we were just living out of my car. Like things were just tough, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just from pillar to post, you know, couch surfing from time to time. And then we came
Mm-hmm.
to the East Orange VA. And so they connected me with Catholic Charities, who
Okay.
then placed me and Caden, you know, at the hotel on Evergreen in East Orange. So
Okay.
we
I know
lived,
where that is.
yep.
Yeah.
So we lived there while trying to you know, get either HUD-VASH, which is for disabled veterans, which is like
Okay.
a Section 8 for that. So we got, you know,
Okay.
we qualified for everything at that point, you know, but I was still waiting on my benefits to come. And so when we got the benefits, and that took a while, then they were like, okay, we can help you place for an apartment. And
Mm-hmm.
so as having a set income, you know, I had to even lie. I mean, I don't want to say this, but to say I made more just so I can qualify for that apartment because that was all I really made. But I paid my
Wow.
bills on time. I did what I had to do, but I didn't qualify for program for parents. I didn't qualify for, you know, SWIC, SNAP, or any of those things because I think I made like $3,000 at the time. But fair market, go ahead. So,
Oh no, I'm sorry.
mm-hmm,
So someone asked, like, as a vet,
mm-hmm,
there when you were pregnant prior
mm-hmm,
to you becoming homeless,
mm-hmm.
were they were there any resources for you, or they didn't want to help you, or like
So,
some people, I do know some people
mm-hmm,
that are like, I did my time, I don't
mm-hmm.
want to have anything to do with veterans.
I mean, that was certainly me
So
when I first started working at the VA, but that
okay.
wasn't by the time as I started working at the VA, because I wouldn't even look at my own medical record. That's how much disdain I had for the service and what had happened to me. It took me
Okay.
about 2 years before I even opened my service record or even thought about applying for benefits or even
Okay.
realized what I was going through because you don't
Right.
realize it as you're going through it. So in regards to the services, I had took a job as a civilian in Florida for contracting. In Florida, there weren't that many services for, let's just be honest, look at what Florida is.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any services really for women like there are for men. There are more services for male veterans than there are female.
Oh
There's only one
wow.
shelter in New York that's for male, that's unisex. Everything else is male, male, male. So
Wow.
yeah. So it's a missing, it's in the demand that's needed.
So there needs to be attention on women
Mm-hmm.
veterans with kids.
Yep, absolutely. I mean,
Wow.
and
I know,
so
but you know what? I'm just actually thinking about that right now.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, it's always the men. I've never seen a woman veteran with
Hmm.
kids that,
I mean,
was
and
struggling.
just so you know, as a pregnant female, we're not allowed to be seen at the actual VA hospital because there aren't any services for us to go into labor. So they send us out to a civilian hospital and they community care us out so that we can go and be
Okay.
seen on the outside. But technically, they're not equipped for a female veteran to go into labor at the VA hospital to give birth, which makes no sense. We have men and women in the service. They should have at least that. So,
Wow.
hmm yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay, so you talked about contracting, and I've seen you building things.
Yes.
One
So
time you posted a video, and my cousin saw it. He was like, "Ooh, she's strong."
yes, yeah, yep. I had to learn. I had to learn. So yes, I do construction. I've always been handy. I've always been artistic. Went to art high schools. That was my thing. But when I came to Newark, what brought me to Newark is that I had to find. Let me just go back to home. So I ended up
Mhm.
buying a multifamily home because living on a set income, I had to figure out a way to survive. And
Mhm.
renting an apartment wasn't it. So I came and laid roots here, and I bought my house on South 17th Street. And as a homeowner,
Okay.
the one thing
You
I
didn't
knew.
hold on. Hold on. The
What?
part where you do a little bit more than the people in Newark do. You bought a house here, so you put the property on the tax roll, so you're
Hmm.
paying into the pot.
Absolutely.
Um. Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
I mean, yeah, I was looking for where I was going to raise my son. For me, after I obtained, or I mean, it took about 3 years to get my benefits, but when I moved here, I just knew that I had to give my son somewhere stable to be. And so I
Wow.
decided that this was it. This was close to where home used to be, but that wasn't home for me anymore. It was unfamiliar to me. And so
Mhm.
when I came here, this was suburbia. I don't understand the number blocks, so this is beautiful. Like, I mean, I came in the wintertime, but I mean, I think the community
They
is.
weren't out yet.
No, they were not outside
They
on Clinton Avenue, but it was
hopefully you
beautiful.
could clean that up.
We've been working on that. We have been working on that,
Okay.
and so but yeah, so landed here in Newark, and so multifamily home. I was getting beat over the head by contractors. I'm going to charge you $1,000 for this.
Right.
I'm going to charge you for this.
Right.
YouTube University, oh my God, that helped. And so with the military
Wow.
background, and I did have to cross train in the as a CB. I had to work with the engineers. I work with the blasting. We
Hold
work.
on. Wait. What's a CB?
Oh, a CB is the construction. Is a Navy personnel, and it's the
Oh, okay.
construction part of the Navy. They're CBs. It's the only part of the Navy that doesn't go on a ship, and their construction part. It's a
Oh,
CB.
okay.
Look
Okay.
up.
Okay. All right. All
So
right.
I learned a little bit of everything. And so when I came here to Newark, maintaining a household and making sure that my tenants were happy tenants. And no, George, this doesn't happen all the time. It's, making sure that everything is up to par. I had to learn. And so as a female, I realized that, men try to take advantage. And so I learned how to do that. I had how to fix things. And so I started helping the community on, connecting with contractors who weren't going to
Uh-huh.
rip them off. We had a
Uh-huh.
lot of community members who needed jobs who were handy. And so I just started bridging that. And then I started teaching the community and children, how to build flower beds. I'm responsible for quite a few gardens in Newark that I built flower beds. We've partnered with Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
We've done curriculums with children, especially during COVID, because vegetables was a tough thing to grow to obtain because it was expensive. So I taught
Mm-hmm.
children how to build flower beds, and so that kind of grew. And yeah, I'm handy. I can build you a house right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I might invite you over then because I don't know how to do any of that, but
no way.
I think you may be able to help me.
We need to empower more women to become a little more independent and look at what's happening in this world because our homes are becoming dilapidated because we're
Right.
waiting for folks or trying to come up the money and contractors are just doing poor jobs. So being able to help the community to identify certain things like, hey, you realize this is a problem, it's going to become a bigger issue, and that's just a each one teach one kind of situation here. So mhm.
Okay. All right. So yeah, back to you're doing more. than some of the people who live in Newark. You didn't sell Granny's house and ball out, and now you're talking about you don't have anywhere to live.
Mm-mm. No, so I no.
Wow.
No. So I'm moving here.
Hmm.
I had pride for where I lived. I this was my piece of land. You know, can you imagine? I'm 2019. This was about almost 7 years ago. Like, you know, this is my home, and I started dealing early on. My house next door was abandoned, and so was the other door next door. And you know, within the first 2 months, I had contact with the city in regards to DPW. You know, entering my property. I know you've heard the story several times, but that was the beginning of, you know, me advocating in this community and seeing that there was a greater issue. And people didn't know at the time I had a soft heart for homelessness and moms. I had all single mothers, that we were all single moms living here. So I
Wow.
felt protective of that. And so, you know, to have drug dealers right outside, you know, and I'm, why are you guys selling drugs right here? And so that started, you know,
Mm-hmm.
me trying to make a change. And if this is where I'm laying my roots and my son has to see this, then I need to be involved.
Right.
And that's why, you know, I decided to run even the second time around, because as long as I have breath in my body and my children are here, and no one else stepping up to the plate, you know, with the credentials, then I'm going to do that so I can make sure that we represent for our community. All
Right.
of my mentors are seven are older, all are seniors. You know, I didn't see this for
That's what's up.
myself. I did not actually, you know, a lot of folks don't know, you know, Sharp James was my mentor and who actually found me, and Miss Ali as well. They found me, you know, in the rain in the community garden, you know, having the police and Sharp James out there. And we're like, you know, this is not normal. Like, our
Right.
children deserve better. And so I realized that the missing piece was that these folks were already angry, which I understand why the community is angry. Like, they're not feeling heard. And I just
Right.
kind of came in and put a mouth to it and a face and wrapped it up so that we can be heard. And that has now morphed into what is now, you know, my second campaign run. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for me, it's just when I looked at our city council, you know, no one looks like us. No one is really, they're talking about the actual lower class or the, you know, the rich. No one's talking about the actual working class, you know, the entrepreneurship, you know, folks under 40.
Mm-hmm.
When those conversations are not necessarily reaching, and that's what I feel is a disconnect with the 90%. And so as somebody who's
Mm-hmm.
Afro Latina, as somebody who's, like I said, a part of the LGBTQ community, a
Mm-hmm.
veteran and a mother, being a mom, well, wakes up a different subconscious that's
Right.
really what has
Right.
me on
Right.
fire. So now here I am, you know, and folks asking, well, who is she? I'm a stakeholder. I am a mom, you know, I'm the president of my association. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, as I've been leading, you know, we started collaboratives, you know, I've been inclusive of folks, even if they didn't include me, you know,
Right.
and at the end of the day, I'm sitting at my own table. You know, I realized I went to theirs and it wasn't all that. And I realized that we need to start an entire new table with
Right.
folks who are, you know, having this conversation and who are really boots to the ground and who care.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay. So, okay, I like that.
oh,
Queen says,
homelessness.
"What will you do about homelessness because you've experienced it?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So, oh, what would we do
you
about
know what it's like."
firsthand? That's why
And
they have
also, hold on, this is a two-part too
okay,
because
you're
she
running that
says
lot. That's a lot going on being a homeowner.
with
Have you
slumlords.
offered anything currently?
So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna that's all tied in.
Yeah, no, it absolutely
Homelessness
is.
and what are you offering as
Okay,
a a
that's a great.
landlord because you are a landlord.
Mm-hmm. So what am I offering as homelessness? So folks, don't if you don't know, I have the C Cherry Foundation, which is my 501c3. The initial the goal of what we're doing, we do have a community center where we have a current pantry where we feed the community. We have an on-site thrift store where we, you know, if you need clothes, we've been actually dealing, we dealt with a lot of fire displacements because of the abandoned homes. So that was one thing. My goal was to get enough funding to have a building to build this 2-year program here in Newark. Unfortunately, a lot of folks have been like, "Yeah, send me your information, send me your information," but it's not trusted. You know what I mean, with the information that we have, because what I'm trying to build is really gold. A lot of what's happening is a lot of these folks are going into shelters, band-aids are being placed upon them, and I'm just now understanding that we have 14 shelters here in Newark. We need to really look at how these resources are being spent or not spent, and if they're being effective with the homelessness, because it doesn't make sense that we keep seeing the same repeat residents in the community. So that's one thing. Revising, like I said, the shelters that we currently have, and hopefully adding to that. Secondly, we also have attorneys that are on our team. We've been screaming and yelling about the slumlords for years now.
Okay.
And so in regards to that, we're trying to look into how to hold them actually accountable. A lot of folks are becoming homeless really because they're getting priced. A lot of working families too are getting priced out of these places. But these slumlords, you know, you can go next door. This guy hasn't cleaned his home in front of here since I've lived here. Matter of fact, since before they even fixed it. So how do we hold them accountable?
Right.
I know that they came up with this list recently about the slumlord list. I mentioned the week right before that we were talking about how we can get a list of everyone who has tax abatements, all right? And it's a twofold: tax abatements with also the violations, because now we can see, yeah, you just got 30-year abatement, but you have 30 pending, violations right now. There should be some sort of reduction in that abatement, which now comes into money that we can use into the city and pay for homelessness, and actually not pay for homelessness, but for the resources that are needed. I'm lost. They're talking. Are they talking? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so yeah,
Somebody they got lost, so
they got
we'll
lost.
bring
I'm sorry.
we'll help them find their way.
All right, we'll help them. I do. I mean, she asked about the homelessness. I mean, there's a lot of that's happening outside right now. I can't do this alone. I can't even pretend that I can do this alone. We've taken folks to. It's going to take all folks to come to the table to figure out an actual solution, because I have one idea of what I think it could be, but I do realize that accessibility to these resources is one thing. A lot of these folks who are giving out resources, they don't have no care, compassion, or anything. I remember myself going to Catholic charities and trying to get benefits and dealing with someone who, she just needed the job. She didn't try to help me. So
Right.
we need to identify why this home, if the money is really out there, and they have 14 shelters, what is happening that these folks are not getting rehabilitated?
Right.
That's a bigger
Right.
question. It's like a revolving door. There's no follow-up service for any of these folks. They get a TRA, they get security, they get put back in, but there's no teaching about how to stay in a home, mental health services, and any follow-up services after that, if it's making sense what I'm saying.
Okay. Show enough. AI or Al says, we would like to know the details of your plans to improve these conditions. How would your policies work with tax dollars when only 24% of our city's population are homeowners?
Well, 20. Can you bring up that question again? Because it was a long one and I want to make sure that I answer it correctly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
To improve these conditions, how would your policies work with tax dollars when 24% of them? All right, can you leave it there so that I can make sure that I don't go off tangent? Thank you.
Okay.
And how would your policies? So like I said, policies. Some of the things that we're talking about, excuse me, bear with me. So the 24% of the homeowners and the tax dollars, I'm sorry, I'm confused. How would your policies work with tax dollars when we're talking about tax dollars? I'm talking about the LLCs and these corporations. I mean, you're right. 24% are I'm not trying to beat the mom and pops like myself. I'm concerned about the taxes going up for me as well. I'm talking about these corporations and these developers. What happened to the community investment part? I know that there's a part that when they develop in our community that they're supposed to be putting back into our community. Where is that? All of this development is happening. And as somebody who has been here in this community, I haven't really seen a red cent from it, not for our association, not for the nonprofit, and not for the community center. So when I'm talking about tax dollars, I'm talking about the LLCs and the corporations and developers who are coming here, developing, getting tax abatements, but not necessarily reinvesting anything back into the community like they're supposed to receive that abatement. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Right, but
Mm-hmm.
Shonuff came back and
Mm-hmm.
clarified. He
Oh
said
yeah.
you're going to
Okay.
need to finance to support these policies,
Mm-hmm.
which means more taxes with a 24% homeowner tax base. So I believe he's trying to say that how are you going to pay for the policies without straining the 24% who pay property taxes?
And that's, yeah, I know, I get that. And that's what I said. The 24, I'm not talking about going after Shakima, the homeowner, Christina, the homeowner. I'm talking about 185 Carroll Street LLC, who owns 865 South
So
17th
making the
Street.
developers pay
Correct.
more.
Absolutely. You know, they're, yes, they're supposed
Okay.
to be already doing that. That's a part of their condition with their tax abatements. They're supposed to, when they go into the community that they want to develop, in order for them, there's zoning boards that have to happen. They have to
Right.
put these virtual notices in front of the property. There's supposed to be
Yes.
community
I,
engagement. They're supposed to come to you and let you know what it is that they plan to bring, and also what they can provide to you as a community member, as a resident, and as a stakeholder. But that's not happening. Yes, they're coming out
okay.
to get their developments approved through the zoning board and to get us not to fight them, but they're not doing the reinvesting back. I'm not seeing the reinvestment back into the community,
I
because
agree with that part.
the community leaders, I'm talking about myself, we're not seeing a dollar for the projects that we're putting out, and these projects are going up. So does that answer? I hope that answers your question.
So yeah, because a lot of the community service work you pay out of your pocket.
Out of my own pocket, correct? Yep. My real estate company, we pay a lot of what we do. We've only received funding for the nonprofit 1 year from LISC. We are a fiscal agent, so I know how hard it is, not only just to get grant money, but to get a 501c3. So we have been a fiscal agent for Senda. We've been for Clinton Hill Block Club Coalition. And so we receive
Mm-hmm.
funding on their behalf so they can do the work that they're doing. But again, I did that because of the community investment part that developers were supposed to do so that we can get the beautification that we need in this area. But again, it hasn't happened. So I intend to make sure that we enforce that.
Okay. And Queen asks, how do we get more people to own in the community?
We have to create, education is first, right? Education is the first fold, like understanding home ownership,
Mm-hmm.
understanding really what is like credit. You know, a lot of folks, credit right now, that they're not even thinking about that. So financial literacy, assisting with credit improvement, and honestly, giving these folks back the resources. We have NACA. We have other resources that are actually out there already for the community. We just have to be able to better prepare them and let them know that that's an opportunity. But it seems like everything here is either you got to go through Invest Newark or a Section 8.
Okay. Ooh. All right. We lost Miss Cherry. Hold on. Queen.
Can you hear me?
Got Queen. Yeah.
Sorry, I do
Yeah.
apologize. Okay, I'm back.
Oh
I
no,
will.
no problem. You said NACA and well, people have to go through Invest Newark or
I mean,
Section
so
8.
I was saying the conversation now is either you got to go through Invest Newark, or you
Mm-hmm.
have to, they do all of these different programs. People don't realize that when you buy a multifamily home, you can use 2 of these apartments to qualify for a bigger loan. So let's say you're a senior on a set income. You know that if you can use these 2 apartments to now qualify you for a 3-family house. So now you can save on what's your own income, and now use the other 2 apartments to help you with your mortgage, and then now you become a business person yourself. So I think the education part, because a lot of folks are not moving forward with trying to apply for
Mm-hmm.
mortgages. I applied for a mortgage last year just to get myself ready. So when I am ready to buy, so just telling folks and showing them that it's not as scary, the home buying process, and really empowering them to move forward and providing the support. I have brought my realtor to our community, mortgage lenders, calendars so that folks can have real conversations, in real time and not say tomorrow, So just empowering people and letting them know the importance of homeownership and being able to give them the resources to understand how to become a homeowner.
Okay. And I think like we're getting to like a really good piece of our live stream because Shonuf brings up a good point. He said, since you have provided some clarification, you raised the issue of going after these corporations that will either leave, taking employment with them, or tie the city up in court with litigation. That's a valid
All right.
point he's making.
He is.
Going after the corporations is easier to go after us, unfortunately, because since I've owned my home, the taxes have been going up. They've never been stagnant, and they have never gone down.
Right.
So it's showing me it's easy to keep taxing me, and how do we avoid that, putting the burden back onto the small percentage of homeowners?
And that's a great question. And the question is that there's more of us than there is of them who own here in Newark in regards. There is 24% of us that own here, but we residents, homeowners, we have a say in this. One thing that people don't know, and let me just say this as well. I had to cancel my LSAT this past February because of the election. And so the LSAT is the study for law entrance exam. Newark has opened a whole nother can of worms for me of things that I've never, woken me up in a way that I'm here, and so when it comes to that, I understand in regards to the litigation and being tied up, but there has to eventually be some sort of stipulation that is placed in there that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, which is a part of their contractual requirement in development, which, it's a lot. If they don't do this, then this is what's going to happen. The language needs to change in how we are cooperating with these developers. We can't say and be concerned. I mean, granted, the folks who are already here, yes, we have a bigger fish to fry when it comes to that. But moving forward, we need to understand what language is being put into these contracts with these developers. That can be difficult. Do they want the development and do we want the business here? Do you want to build what you're building here? So you need to be able to hold your end of the bargain, and the language has to be clear. So, like I said, I am working with 2 attorneys on my team. We're having discussions. I am open to folks letting me know where I'm missing something at, because every ward has different issues, about different, so you have some folks where the community is actually investing. You have some areas where, they're not investing. The South Ward seems to be the last place people want to come to for some reason, and that's why as an at-large, I understand that firsthand. We need to spread ourselves between all of the wards, and like I said, the issues vary between cities, between wards. And so, like I said, parking is not an issue here yet. It's starting to be an issue, but in the North Ward, super big issue, so just understanding and getting more feedback from the community. But this is what I'm getting so far. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. We had another good question from Emily Akins. She said, will you hold your council colleagues accountable? Because right now we got the yes times 9.
Yeah. As you guys can see,
it's like an echo. Yes.
I'm not somebody who is a yes person. I don't know if you guys know, and you've heard that I do more for this community, is because I advocate fiercely for this community. I don't need anything from them in regards to the community. I'm happy. I'm stable where I'm at now. Thank God, bless God that I'm at where I'm at. But yes, I will hold the city council accountable. I do believe in the checks and balances, and I fiercely believe in the app for the community. We're there for them. And, Queen brought up a valid point yesterday about how many bosses we would actually have. And it's 150,000 of them, of registered voters, as she said last night in the council meeting, that are our bosses. And with that being said, I need to be able to do my part. And the reason I'm up there is because of the lack of representation. So if I'm going to be representing the community, I am the community. And so if it's something that's not adding up, then yeah, the answer is no, I'm not somebody who I'm going to fold for my values or sleep my way anywhere. Like, that's not what this is about. We're about the work. I am
Mm-hmm.
here. Like, that's it. That's all this is, just the work. And I've been shown and proved that I do deliver on that. And so I hope
Right.
that my track record to now speaks to that. And um, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Emily.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Ooh, Queen said good answer.
Thank you.
And let's go back to Queen's question where she said is going to take a lot of time and patience to fix what has been broken in this city. And at large is a big seat. Will you have the time to do so?
Absolutely. What makes me different from other folks is that I am actually a retired disabled veteran. And so, yes, I have my jobs and I have the businesses that I've learned to let work for themselves. But unlike other folks, I am my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I am already 24/7 in the community. We were just chasing a dog the other day and getting them displaced. My neighbor was like, Miss Cherry, you can't come running around the corner, but it was a dog running around and the school is right here. So to answer your question, I do know it's a big seat. I do know
Uh-huh.
that it's a lot of work, but I'm prepared to do so. I got told that I think I was going to win the South Ward because I was Spanish, and the answer is no, I didn't. But I do feel that taking on the big city, taking on all of Newark, gives more folks an opportunity to vote for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's not just me. It's the mayor. It's going to be the other council person. There's 8 other people in those seats, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be for me as well to make sure that I champion for all the things that we're working for, to the other council members as well, and pass legislations and policies that actually work for our community. So the answer is yes, I have time for that.
Okay, okay. I got time for a lot of things myself.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
Uh, Queen says there's a meeting tomorrow from 2 to 5 at 18th Avenue in Newark. Would love to see you there.
I would love to be there. Definitely.
Okay, I guess you guys will have to coordinate
Absolutely.
on the address.
So her kudos to her yesterday. I was watching that council meeting. Woof, they got a lot of folks. I'm really happy to see the passion. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing folks waking up.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought we had a good chance in 2022, and I know folks were like, "Who is she?" and not realizing they never saw my hand. But folks were talking like this 4 years ago, but they were afraid to speak out, to speak about it.
Oh, it's at
Got it.
McDonald's on
Okay.
18th Ave.
All right, got you. But folks are really passionate about what's happening. This is, for me, I'm not, and don't put me against anybody. This is not a personal war with anybody. This is a war for the community, and I'm not here about personal anything. Keep us focused on the work, focus on, we know what the problems are, we see them, and I'm happy to see that folks are identifying them and speaking up. So.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Queen says some people are not mentally stable for education and learning. What do we do for them if the government shuts down?
So, um, this is where we're talking about, well, right now, I mean, the reallocation of services, because, I mean, in regards to funding and making sure that we have enough for mental health services, it's a big, in the Black and Brown community, I feel like it's a big taboo,
Mm-hmm.
but it's right here. When as the president of my association, we've called several times to have the trucks and resources come out and help folks, but they have to want to get the help as well, because when was it, December 24th, I took somebody to rehab all the way in Pennsylvania, as what we
Right.
do in our nonprofit. You guys know I just had a baby who's 11 months, and I put everything aside because she was ready to take them where they needed to go. And followed up because I'm her emergency contact from here, she was from
Mm-hmm.
Fabian, and they said she was back here. They brought her back. And so, we really have to hit this on the head and be very consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that we have the funding and the resources to deal with that, with this government shutdown. As a military personnel, I mean, there's so much more that I would like to talk about, but I know it's more in depth. But we have to also remain, be mindful that, at a federal level, things are being done so that at a state level, we react in a certain kind of way that
Mm-hmm.
takes away our authoritative power and they come in. So protests and the whole nine and whatever we have going on, like, yes, we can do all those things, but just be mindful that they're looking for something to push us over the edge
Right.
so that they can court
Right.
martial and come in and just ignite
Right.
the National Guard.
Right. And
Um,
people don't understand that, and they need
mm-hmm.
to, because that's how people end up losing their lives
Yeah.
over
Mm-hmm.
something, just
And,
being where having a certain type of knowledge would have
mm-hmm.
saved them.
Absolutely. So, I mean, readiness is important.
Mm-hmm.
Household readiness, having things packed and ready, keeping, canned goods. I mean, right now, people, Cuba got their oil cut off. We got Palestine. Gaza. We have so much that's going on all around us. And I'm looking at it as my military background as this is their place background for us here. So, and now look at what ICE is doing coming in our backyard. And I've said this, ICE is good for nobody. I understand how the community feels about the benefits being taken from them. And I'm in complete agreement with that. But having them here and welcoming them here, everyone is at risk. We just had those 3 children that got ridiculously injured on Clinton Avenue for one guy, for one man. Like, was it that serious for one man who broke an ankle, punctured a lung, and did something else for three kids?
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Ibn Jesse Crawford is back with the question. Thank you. What are your plans for downtown Newark? Because it is a mess, and that's the first thing you see when you come to Newark.
Oh, honestly, I want to have a conversation about the corridors in general. It's downtown is definitely one of the corridors that we need to talk about. A lot of folks, I see a lot of businesses coming in and out.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, my hope, first of all, when I come in as at large, is revisiting, and if that's a possibility, the wages for DPW, because it's ridiculous what they're getting paid, and I now understand why they're not coming in, and I wouldn't blame them. So we need to make sure that the morale and that these folks are receiving fair wages
Mm-hmm.
on time, every time, and if they're working overtime, that they're getting paid accordingly. If they're
Okay.
who's keeping our cities clean, okay. And so that's our first fold. And secondly, just to make sure that we do a clean sweep of this entire city. Look at election time. All of a sudden, the city's getting cleaned up now, which lets me know
Mm-hmm.
that it can happen. Okay, this lets me know that this is just a condition that they're used to, and so we as a community can come out and get that cleaned up. I want to be able to continue, as Yamar Jungler has been doing, engaging more of our young community, because they are really hungry on starting businesses. And I get it that all these other programs exist, but they're still not connecting with the residents who need to be connected with them. How can we get them to start businesses that can continue there, and continue to follow them? Don't just give them the money to start it up, but how can we continue to support them to be able to make funding, make that a lucrative place in downtown. But
Okay.
yes, but downtown, clean it up, and then on top of that, work on getting folks, a lot of entrepreneurs out
So,
here.
so do you think we need to go back to Africa and get those 2 garbage trucks?
The what?
I'm dead serious.
You
You're,
know,
you're
I
saying
did
pay
hear about that.
PW workers more money, and why are we releasing equipment that we need
Mm-hmm.
to be using?
Used.
Right,
Agreed. I mean,
right.
we saw that. I mean, there's been, like I said, we're
And
going.
still, what did North get in exchange? We still don't know.
No, we don't. One thing is we do need our garbage trucks back, and we do need as an inventory management specialist, we need to look at our service contracts for these trucks, people who are fixing them, understanding why they're not being serviced in a timely manner,
Right,
what's happening, because these are
right,
expensive pieces of equipment.
right.
And so that's another fold, right? And so that this way we can make sure that there is no dysfunctionality. I do know a few years ago, we used to have recycling done by a different vendor. And now I know the city does it, which I feel like is a conflict of interest, because now they can pick and choose when they want to come. Well, we're using the recycle for the garbage, the recycle for that. So now the other fails, making sure that all of our equipment is working, service correctly, that folks know how to properly service them. We need to do a whole retraining in regards to DPW on the things that they need to do when they're outside, in regards of, picking up the garbage when the bags break, having that conversation about not throwing the garbage cans that we fought about 5 years now for. Don't throw those
Mhm.
garbage cans, but it also starts with their morale as well. And so, all of these little pieces hopefully can work towards being a cleaner city. So,
Okay, you got the audience very
oh,
inquisitive.
oh,
We have a question about crime
mm.
from Show Enough. Newark still suffers from high crime, though it's trending down. What are your plans for community policing?
Oh, you guys know I'm a big
And
one on that.
Emily, so that's one question, and then
Mm-hmm.
Emily asks, ask. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm not like the lady in Congress asking people, asking
Do
whatever.
you agree with the way council presidents use his policies? So let's go back to the other guy because this one is. I want to answer his question, and then I'm gonna come
Show
back to
enough.
Emily. Yeah.
Show enough.
All right. Suffers must trends. What are you planning for the community policing? So I'm not sure if you guys are aware. I've started two collaboratives, one called the Number Block Collaborative, and then the other one that we started was the Newark Association Collaborative. We only had one meeting. And so the Number Collaborative for me was something that I started with. We had the infrastructure for my association. So this comes back to the community policing. This is on
Mm-hmm.
how to empower folks, to come out and, how to start, first of all, how to start their association, how to organize, how to be informed in regards to what's happening in the community. Once folks are engaged in what's happening in their community, you start to have a different kind of renter, a different kind of owner in the community. And so,
Mm-hmm.
we started galvanizing people and letting them know what's happening. What do you have problems with? And so that starts a community policing part because now folks
Okay.
are paying attention. Now, the renter who was here, that was just coming in and out of work, they're a part of these community meetings and they're like, wow, like this is an actual network of a community. You can't come in and do that. Unfortunately, it's taking a lot of consistency. You guys know I live on South 17. We're dealing with our own issues on Clinton Avenue. We've been dealing with after hours killings and shootings. And the problem becomes as well that the bail reform law, doesn't allow folks to stay locked up because of what happened because of COVID. And so it's a repeat situation where these folks get locked up and then they're back here in the afternoon. Then you're with the case building. That's far beyond us, but these laws are way antiquated for what crimes are being happening now. Like, for an example, when those children broke into my house, right? Some of the laws that apply to them couldn't really apply to the egregiousness of what they did because the laws were based on, when they would do silly things like back in the days, something less egregious to breaking in. And the people were like, I'm sorry, that's the law. And so that's what we're dealing with. But getting folks more involved, building a network of community. When there were fires that were happening here, we have a group me, building accessible. We need a port where all communities can come together and be able to get the resources that they need so that they can disseminate back to their community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we started. Like I said, the Newark Association Collaborative is something that I started with Ishan Ali. We're trying to get all of the presidents, all of the vice presidents and treasurers
Mm-hmm.
together and really give them the civic education in regards to why it's important because that's a voting district, that's a voting
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like I want to empower them because when I came here, I wasn't empowered. I was told, no, you're not going to get the help
Ooh.
you need.
Ooh.
I was told, no, that fence, you got to fix it yourself, call your insurance company. And that's not how you.
Wow.
So I dealt with my own levels of opposition as a homeowner and a stakeholder. So that's why we're doing what we're doing now. And so, yeah, I hope that answers your question now in the
Okay.
community policing part.
All right, let's go to Emily. I like this question. Do you agree with the way the council president uses the police to remove nonviolent citizens from the council chambers? And they ban people. I'm one of the people who have been banned indefinitely, still banned, which is a whole nother conversation. And we're gonna do I'm going to do a live stream on that. So stay tuned. And I
Okay.
may need you on as a guest, to
You know,
dissect everything that the city did wrong and how they could have prevented what the outcome is going to be.
I'm gonna definitely try to stay on as long as I can. But I am not unfamiliar with being removed by the police. But
From city council,
not the
right,
city
right,
council. I'm just
right,
talking about the police.
right.
Period
From
being used to
events.
remove said events, right? And city events or community events, right? So Emily, I completely disagree with that. I do. One thing that I'm going to say I did not like, and I'm going to talk about in my association, I don't believe in like talking disrespectfully to anyone, right? Not even like the residents or even back, right? Like I've never seen where they're like F you and I'm angry. So I think it's twofold. We have to be respectful of the residents, and the residents, I hope, even if angry, come respectful to us as well. But removing them and using police, absolutely not. That's not what they're there for. The reason for these meetings is for you to be able to voice your opinion, and evidently you or voice your concerns or what you need fixed, and evidently you were not able to reach somebody that you're now coming to a council meeting. Because why is the city council and all these folks not accessible for you to tell them this outside of the council meeting? So, you know, but no, I don't agree with that. I do believe in freedom of speech. As you know, you came to my association meeting where I gave
Yes.
candidates the platform to speak, even my opponents.
Yes.
I believe in fair democracy. I am not intimidated by any of these candidates. They didn't know my hand last time, and I had Sharp James as an ace. You don't know my hand now, and I am pro the community. And so, with that being said, you want to count me out, that's great. But we got work to do and we got changes to make. And we're not going to be, we're going to give people the ability to make an informed decision about the candidate that they want to pick. But yeah, no police for that. Absolutely not. You remember that? You interviewed me. That's the first interview.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got kicked out the fashion show.
Right. I remember that. That was. Absolutely. I have to maybe dig that up in the archives and replay that.
That was interesting.
Yes, yes.
And unfair,
So,
but.
all right. I know you have a lot to do. You're running a campaign, and I don't want to keep you
Do we have any more
any longer.
questions? Any more?
We have quite a few. So
What you got? Let me take two. Let me take at least. Let's take at least two more, so that this way. And just so you guys know, all right. My campaign office, I get it. No, it's not in Newark. Don't thank me for that. I think that it's important that we make sure
yes.
our residents are safe. I've had situations where I've had a fundraiser and someone lost their space behind it. And so I want to make sure that nobody,
And that fundraiser was in Newark, right?
yes.
Okay.
And so I want to make sure that everyone is safe. So I elected to have it at my community center. So I hope you guys understand that. That I'm just thinking about you guys and the longevity. Should I not win a seat, that now you're paying the price for supporting me. So we do have the space open. We are accepting volunteers and folks who are interested. Like I said, yo soy Latina, so yo hablo por la comunidad de nosotros. Sí, yo hablo español y soy dominicana y puertorriqueña, y si gano sería la primera latina en la historia de Newark. So that means that if I win, I'll be the first Latina.
I heard you.
The first three. Actually, the first
You
three.
said,
We've never had
I am. Yeah. I am Puerto Rican and Dominican. Yeah, I got you.
But it's weird because I'm too Spanish. I'm not Spanish enough and not Black enough. Like, I go into spaces and people come to me and say, Miss Cherry, Latinos are taking over. And I'm like, how are we doing that? They're like, you're Black. I'm like, well, I'm like, I want to know. I mean, most people are.
Is that appropriate?
That what? Black Tina?
Yeah, Black
Afro Latina. Afro.
I got okay.
It's Afro
okay.
Latina. Afro Latina. Yeah. Okay. I mean, my DNA, I'm mostly West African. I did do my DNA. I had to figure it out, but Benin and Togo was what I came out the most, but Dominican and Puerto Rican roots. So
okay. That's what's up.
So did we want to answer one question? Or are you ready? You have to go.
Term limits.
Okay.
Do you believe?
Do I? Yes.
Term limits.
Yes, that's one of the things I'm advocating for. At term limits. I just posted a video about this today. So if you go on my page, there's no way that anybody should be on any city council for more than, I'm going to say, 2 to 3 terms. And I'm saying our city is consistently changing. So it's the demographics. So it's the ideas. So we should be breeding new leaders. We should be teaching new folks. God rest his soul, Sharp James is not here anymore, and he has walked me through so much. But I was praying and hoping that, we have our team, but that more folks would be like, this is what you're supposed to do. Let you in here. I still see you've been consistent, and that's what I intend to do, and that's what I'm doing now, and sending the elevator back down, and hopefully inspiring more leaders to come.
Okay. All right. This is
That's it.
the last question.
Okay.
Show enough asked, what was your
Mhm.
Navy MOS? I have
Let's
no
work on
idea what
it.
that
All
is.
right. So your MOS is actually your job. And I wasn't in the Army, so I don't have an MOS. I have a rate, rank and
Ooh.
rate. And so my rate was actually considered an LS, a logistics specialist. Previously, it actually got classified as an LS. It was an SK, which is called a storekeeper. That's what it
Mhm.
used to be. But just so you guys know, I actually went into the service with intentions of becoming a military police officer. So I had
Mm.
my military jacket. I was supposed to go to school for an MP. When I got to boot camp, they figured I'm from New York, so I didn't have a license. And so, right when I was about to graduate, they pulled me from my school where I was supposed to go, and I got sent to seamanship school, which is, an regular military basic training skills, and I did OJT, and that's how
Mhm.
pretty much I ended up with an SK. I hope that helps
Ah.
answer it, but MOS is for the Army. My brother was the Army. He's
Ah,
actually, I
okay.
have another brother in the Army now too. So,
Okay,
hmm
okay.
thank you, Al,
So
keeping me on my toes.
what would you like to say to wrap it up?
Um,
Um
what would I like to
and give us your the ballot number.
Mm-hmm. So, what I'd like to say, so my ballot number is 11B. I want to say, and I said this before, new does not mean, not qualified. I want to say that I've been here doing the work. I've never left. I do apologize if I haven't gotten the opportunity to meet you as a resident, as being somebody who's boots on the ground. I'm not a big IG or Instagram person. I'm really out here. I got more work to show than I've actually posted, but I do
Mhm.
welcome you to challenge me, to reach out to me. My email is info@christinacherry.org. My website is christinacherry.org as well. I am not that hard to find. Our office is at 174 Broad Street in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Mhm.
And so this is the time right now. If we don't take our complaints and to the voting poll, then we're going to get more of the same. I want folks to focus. I want the candidates to focus on the work. A lot of things are being thrown at us as noise. And
Mhm.
so, don't pay attention to all the noise out there. Run your race, and good luck to everyone. So,
Okay.
mhm.
And George closed us out.
Oh, thank you, George. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that for you. Okay, don't worry. Thank you.
Oh man,
Mhm.
this was really good. So
Yeah,
I wish you well.
thank you. Thank you.
I'll be seeing you around because
Absolutely.
I've seen you in the community, so I know I'm going to run into you again.
Yes. And just so you guys know, every second Saturday, we have a community meeting. It's called the Number Block Collaborative, but anybody in Newark is welcome to come. We have it here on South 17 and Clinton Avenue at the St. Andrew's Church.
Mhm.
Again, I'm the district leader here, by the way, the president of the
Oh,
association.
wait, you're a
Oh,
district leader too?
yeah.
You didn't tell us that.
I'm so bad about talking about myself because we talk about the work. But yes, I'm a district leader here at District 18. So I
Uh-huh.
cover from South 18 to South 15th Street. And so yeah, I was. It wasn't my intention for the district leader part, but I did realize it was important to be a part of that conversation so that I can bring back information for the community. Since I was being
Mhm.
left out of the conversation, I had to involve myself so that this way we can give, like I said, the community a better opportunity to know what's going on. So yeah.
Okay, all
All
right.
right.
Awesome.
Thank
It
you
was good
so
having
much.
you on. You're welcome.
Likewise. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, that was Christina Cherry. This has been Current Exposure. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace. I am